Hello, how are you? This is Jilly Bling, and today's project is going to be more than this. How about that? So it's all about Encircled in Nature. This bundle is an online exclusive, and I bought it earlier in the year, and I used it for the flowers. And I think I did some with the trees for kind of like a manly card. That turned out great. Then I was thinking this would be so nice for like a Christmas card. So that was the thought. Looking through the dies, this is the one that I started with. There are dies for this wreath. And I thought, well, it's all one piece, but how do you get the different colors? So I did it on watercolor paper, and I colored it with an aqua painter. And it was like, something is missing. I tried to use Granny Apple Green, so it would be a little bit brighter than this background paper, and I love this background paper, Season of Elegance. And then another little stumbling block, and keep in mind, this is kind of the process, and I'll show you quickly the other projects, but where do you put the words on this? You can't stamp it right here because it looked funny with them hanging over the edge. If you put it right in the middle, well, that wouldn't look good because you see only half of it. So I thought, okay, I'm going to move on to the other one I wanted to do, which is a fall card. So this one I decided just put the words there and embrace that. You kind of see it through there, and it's not centered. And this one I liked a little bit better. I love how the leaves turned out, but when I put them on this background, it's like, oh, they got lost. And see how pretty they are? And then the ribbon kind of brightens it up a little bit. These in-colored glossy gems add a nice touch, but still something was a little bit off. And I decided what's off is this paper is a bit busy, and it has to be a contrasting color so that whatever you're watercoloring shows up. Okay, so that's where it started, and I didn't give up because I thought I had a plan. Okay, you ready? Then I made this one, and I love how this one turned out. And the more I thought about this, think about making this as a Christmas card, because all you need is crumb cake paper, a little bit of the Season of Elegance designer paper, and I figured it out. If you could get, I think it's either 6 cards per sheet, it might even be 7 cards per sheet. And if there's 12 sheets in there, say it was 6 cards, that's what, 72 cards? You could be done with Christmas cards. Get a spool of ribbon. Doing the watercoloring is so much fun. And I've seen a few berries that are kind of white. I did a little bit of shadowing on them with a little bit of blue, but I love how this one came out. And I love how it makes the ribbon really stand out. And the words are right in the middle. And it's not too bad when the words are stamped in crumb cake on this beige paper. It kind of all goes together. So this one, I would do all my Christmas cards like this. I love this one. So then, on the same idea, this time I did the berries with just these little tips, like where the flower, the bud was, in very light blue to go with this. A nice bold ribbon. I love how this one turned out too. So I'm thinking that's the key, is the die cut pieces. Oh, and this one I used a little bit of crumb cake just to bring it all together with the natural tones of the card. Okay. Then, I'm catching on now. Aren't those leaves beautiful? I think the trick is doing leaves that will stand up strong enough on the designer paper. And once again, I stamped right in the middle. Didn't do anything else on here. And yep, just a little bit shows, but it kind of makes you feel inclined to open it up to see what it really says. Okay, so this is today's project. And the first two, I don't know that I'm going to throw them away or anything. They're pretty, it's just they're lacking. I do like the red berries with the espresso little tips on them though, so might come up with something on that. Okay, you ready to get started? So, Encircled in Nature is what it's all about. Greetings of the season, just for the Christmas cards. These greetings are wonderful. iconic imagery. On the inside of one of the Christmas ones, this one, this little sprig with the berries I think is cute to go with these berries. Wildflower designs. I love these words. Courage and faith, always good to have on hand. And encircled dies. That's all. But you don't need that much. You could just do Christmas. Well, the fall is really pretty too. Okay, so over here is the papers we'll be using. Fluid watercolor paper, which is what we'll be doing the watercoloring on. Gold. And Season of Elegance designer paper. And it comes in red. I think that's more real red and cherry. Mossy and olive. Pretty peacock and Lost Lagoon, I think. And beige and crumb with gold highlights. And I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. She said she got the little paper, but there's 2 of each in the pack. Okay, so let's do the leaves. And I'll put all the paper cut sizes in the video description so you can reproduce this and make yourself a whole bunch, whether it be fall cards or Christmas cards. So the leaf one that I say I'm not going to throw away. I've never thrown away a card. I can't throw away a card. I want to do it similar to this with this ribbon, which is on the clearance rack right now. Maybe these gems, but just different color leaves. And I was testing what color leaves will go on this paper. So, you look here, this is espresso. It's like, nope, just plain orange would go well. I was testing all different kinds of greens, and that's a little bit too matchy-matchy. This is just granny apple. It's too faint. This is what we did on the other one, which is a hit. I think that's lemon lime. Then I was trying just yellow. Then I was trying blue. I think the only one in my mind that really works is the one like that beautiful one. This right here. But then that would be copying, like exactly copying. So I have an idea. And the idea that worked on all the others is just to leave them white. Look how that stands out. But if you're like, well, I wanted to see you do some of the coloring, I'll still do some coloring. Okay, we'll do that in just a minute. I'm getting ahead of myself. So this is for, I've already cut out the leaves. The leaves, let me show you. These 2 dies line up with this little part. And because we're not stamping on it, if we're stamping on it, it'd be very important to get those perfectly lined up. But because we're just using the die cut piece, it's okay if they're off a little bit. This is for the wreath. That's for the leaves. And look how they both come on one. So I'll cut that out. And then both of the gold sprigs come on one, which is very convenient. Okay, so those are already cut out. This is going to go in here. So let's start building this a bit. It's morning. I haven't stamped all day. And the back side of this designer paper doesn't have the gold gilding on it, and the other side has all the gold on it. Okay. I'm watching Tony be a bus driver. because I was wondering, is he coming home? Today is Friday, so it's half day Friday. So the kids get out like at noon, a little bit after. And I'm like, are you done? Are you coming home? Because today is homecoming. Nope, he's going right by the bridge. So that means I have a few minutes. Okay, so this I'm just going to leave in here in case I need to flip it over. So this die cut piece, when you look at it, there he goes, he's cruising now. When you look at it, there is a little bit of an area that's a bit flat. So that I'm going to use, I'm going to put down here at the bottom because that's where I'll have the bow. But look at this one, how I have it at the top. Well, let me see about these leaves. What if I do it at the side this time? Like right there. Okay, something different. Okay, so I'll put it on the side. So right now I'm going to put glue on the underside of this from about this point to that point. After it dries, I'll lift it up and I'll put glue on the rest of it. But I'm doing it this way. I know I'm getting it in the right spot. So right there. So it's midpoint from top to bottom. And these sides are somewhat equal. After you get it all decorated, it doesn't matter too much. I do like that thank you though. Well, this goes in here. See, I like how well that stands out. Isn't that just beautiful? And this one. And some of this. And a double bow. So if I do that little tag like on this one, let me see, because it's not too late to change the placement of the bow and the leaves. So if it's like that, would it be better? See, that doesn't stand up as much. Stand out, it's not as strong of a difference in color. Okay, it's just going to stay like that. And after we get this one put together, I'll do the watercolor leaves in those bright colors. This won't take long at all because there's no coloring. So attach this, put glue there, not on the end one, I'll put some dimensionals on the end. Oh, kind of goes into the beige. Okay, isn't that pretty? It's just the die cut is so pretty. I do like those bright ones though. Okay, and a glue dot. I mean, you can make a lot of these, whether it be Christmas or fall or both. You could do both, half and half. And as quick as this is going together, I hope you think, yeah, I could do that. Maybe going inward a little. Okay. Wow, that one's almost done already. Then the bling. Oh, let's try. See, these are on the clearance rack too. Oh, so many choices. Let's try some festive gems. Pop it in gold. Just little random ones. Okay, so for the inside, oh, let me do that little tag thing. So that little tag is done on beige paper. And stamped in espresso. Just a little bit of beige. Basic beige. Oh, you know I wanted to do it like this one. And everything give thanks. Maybe I'll just stick with that and not do the tag. To do the tag, it's really easy though. You just stamp on here. This one I did in a mossy meadow. And just trim it really close. Put a little flag on the end. I think I could still do it. I'll do it in mossy. Oop, I don't have the stamp out. Here it is. Okay, mossy. And the stamp originally says a huge thank you, and I'm going just for the word thank you. I did it a little close. Do it again. That's better. That's for watercoloring. Watercoloring is coming up. Okay, so cut it a little bit bigger on the one side for the flag. This side is just going to be cut right along here. And then the equal distance here. And I see a little bit of the E from huge right there. So I'm going to cut that off. Then to do the flag, at this point, the angle isn't square. So that's close enough to square. Do a little cut in the middle. Then go from one corner, then the other corner. That's good enough. It's not perfect. Oh, gotta do it right. So I'm making that flat, right in the middle, a little slit. Right to the slit. Well, that kind of works. Okay, so I will put liquid glue under here and a half a mini dimensional under here. A lot of stamp sets, a lot of colors can go into those leaves. Okay, I need just a mini, a half a mini. Sure, I'll use that later. I'm sure I'll appreciate that later. But for now, this can go right here. A little glue right there. And this will get pushed up under the knot, into the knot. Just like that. Thank you. Okay. So that's looking really pretty. So for the words and everything give thanks. Oh, and I like these little things too. These, this time I think I'll make them in, what color? Maybe espresso, and I'll do this in crumb cake, which is changing it up just a little bit. Okay, I have a tip on this. So you're like, okay, where do I put that? So if you take your beige paper, put it right about where you want it, and I'm looking at the perimeter. Take a pencil, and can't go there. You want to stay inside this line. Okay, that tells me where to put it. So I think the words this time are going to be in crumb cake. I really like those white leaves. Who knew? I think you have to get in there, try. Hopefully it'll turn out. Okay, that's really faint, but I love the look of that. And then this thing, should I do it in crumb cake too? Sure. It's kind of monochromatic, but it's a very delicate card. Oh, can I line it up? I've seen other people do it. Oh, look at that, I got the leaf back. When does that happen? Never. I think I need to go somewhere and gamble. Got luck on my side. Okay, after I erase these, attach it, then we will do a little bit of watercoloring. So an eraser, and I'm trying to give this a second to dry because on the first one with the espresso, I smeared the ink. I didn't wait at all. Isn't that nice? That just looks good. That's real. Okay, this is my favorite. No, those bright leaves. I love those bright leaves. Okay, so the card is done right about now. And we're going to get onto the watercoloring of whatever you want to watercolor. So the watercolor paper is nice. If you use vanilla or if you use white, that will work too. But the water in the that you're using in the aqua painter and that you need to get the colors to blend, it kind of balls up your basic white cardstock, even if it's thick, and same with the vanilla. But if you don't have watercolor paper, give it a try, knowing that that might happen. Okay, so there's two different ways to do this, and I'll show you the difference. So when you look at these leaves, you're like, look at how it flows from cherry to pumpkin to daffodil. And it just kind of flows. They all blend together. Perfect. When you look at this one, if I had the red berries And if the red flowed, is that a word, down onto the stem, that wouldn't be good. So when I look through all these, there is one at first where the red kind of drifts into the stem, and I just had to put it off to the side, let it dry, came back, and then just focused. I'll show you both ways of doing the coloring. So let's start out with when it's dry. It's dry right now. And I'm going to do a pretend berry. Got my aqua painter. First of all, make sure there's no color in it, because the last person who used it might not have. Squeezed water. You give it a squeeze, and it even says push on it to get the water through here, to get it go through the bristles and clear them out. First of all, I have to make sure that I get some water. What's going on? I might need to use a different one. Sometimes they're just sleepy. They're like, I don't want to wake up. Oh, here we go. Okay. So the water is happening. So if you pick up some color, oh, that's another thing. See how I was dipping my aqua painter right into there? You can do that if you want, but you'll get a pink spot over here because the ink is real diluted. I don't like that. But if you take ink, put it right on here, close up your pad. Now you can control how much you pick up, and you don't mess up your pad. It's easy to fix your pad. You just put a re-inker to it, but I don't want to do that. Okay, so this paper is dry. So see how I'm making my berry? My berry's staying right where I want it to stay. Woohoo! Okay. On the other hand, if you did a watercolor wash, you pick up some ink, you try to do the berry. Ooh, what happened there? That's not the look we're going for with the berries. That's the look we're going for with the leaves. Okay, so for the leaves, I'm going to pull out the 3 colors. I'm going to start with the lightest and then go to the darkest. Okay, that one is ready. I don't want my sleeve in it. This is pumpkin pie. Getting some color on it. And then daffodil. And you could use daffodil, you could use curry, any color that you like. You should see how many colors I have out here. I could put wild wheat in it, put crumb cake in it. I mean, you could get so many different results. Okay, that one's still drying. That one is not what we want. Okay, so here's my pretend leaf. And don't worry, you'll see my pretend leaf, or it'll make sense in a minute. Remember how, if it's wet, you do the watercolor wash, the inks kind of blend together, which is what was done here. That's what we're wanting to do. So this is my pretend leaf. I'm going to give this a squeeze. This one is really good because it has a big tip. There is a good watercolor wash. Woohoo! Okay, so I'm going to start with the lightest. And here's my leaf. And because it's already all cut out, when you have this piece, I should have just done another one, but that's okay. The yellow will stay right to, I'm wanting to cut out another one. This is just for experimental use. Leaf, just a few little leaves. We're in business now, and it's good to run it back and forth a few times because the one cut doesn't always get it cut all the way. So let's just use this bit right here. Okay, back to where we were. And you could use a silicone sheet so you don't get your paper all sopping wet. Okay, watercolor wash, because we want the colors to flow together. Oh, much better with a silicone sheet. And if you put a lot of water on it, the watercolor paper is like, I'm saturated with water, I'm tired, and it just kind of sits there. It's not ready to move around. When it's dry, it's like moving everywhere. Okay, so Daffodil Delight, I'm going to start at the bottom, and it's kind of drinking right up through that vein, which is fine. Then, a little over there, just at the bottom of the leaves, and I'm trying to make the color real strong. So I'm trying to pick up the fresh, non-diluted ink. Okay. Yellow. Okay, now watch this. I'll hold it up close. So now I'm going to go into the pumpkin pie and go midpoint. And if it's wet, see how it just kind of naturally blends? But one note on doing this, if you can, leave areas of each color. Because I could take this and put it over the daffodil, the yellow. I was like, oh, look at them blending. But I want to see all three of the colors on the finished product. Okay, here we go. The red is the powerhouse. Yeah. And when it dries, it's going to look smoother than what it looks here. And another thing when it dries, and I don't know why this happens, is you'll see areas that it's like, I know I colored that. Why is it white? So see how you could see the different colors? You could see the red, cherry, you could see pumpkin pie, and you could see daffodil. If I kept mixing them all up, I would just have orange. I want three colors. Okay, and there it is. Isn't that beautiful? And then your blocks, just take them under the kitchen sink, let water run on them, and they'll be clear. So, as I'm looking at this, it's saturated. And I don't see any white spots, but it happens every time, without fail. Instead of leaving it on the silicone mat, I'm going to put it right over here, or maybe propped up on something, because it seems to dry a little bit better. Then this could go right under the faucet, or take your, oh, there's hard as a rock. Okay, under the faucet, it will go in a bit. But I had to put this up because I know I'll put my elbow in it or something. Okay, so I think that's it. We did our experiment. We have a winner card. We have a trial and error card. Then we have another winner card. Where's winner? Today's win. Look at this one. I think it might be my favorite. I do like that one though. Let me know what you think. What is your favorite? I think you could do them all. This one certainly is easy though. And it's very classic. It's elegant. What's the paper called? Season of Elegance. It's elegant. Okay, that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me in comments or send me an email. And I'll put photos of all these on my blog, and my blog is juliebling.com. And if you have your wish list ready to go, if you could use this host code, I would very much appreciate it. And I hope you have a great day, and thanks for watching. Okay,